and welcome back to the Empowered to Lead podcast. I am so looking forward to this second season of this podcast and the information that we're going to be sharing with you. And I say we because there's going to be some really key group practice owners sharing their stories and their experiences of leadership. And so before we get started in looking ahead, I want to look back a little bit. As I closed out season 1, I encouraged you to reflect on what wintering looks like for you as a leader and as a person. I know I took a few weeks off of creating episodes for you. And during that time, I was able to connect with my family. My son came home for Christmas for the first time in a little while. And so I got to just soak in time with him, got to spend some time with my daughters and my grandchildren, and just really slow down and enjoy winter, which is not a statement that I ever thought I would say, because I don't love winter. As you may remember from that closing episode, it's hard for me to rest and to slow down and to appreciate winter. And so that's a learning curve for me. And there are some things that are really appreciated in that and the way that it cares for you physically, emotionally, and in that, okay, as we winter, let's get ready for spring because now I can really make stuff happen. And trying just to pace myself with that. I've got lots of ideas for what I want to do with Group Practice Network and specifically with Empowered to Lead. So I'm so happy to have you come and join us. One of the things that I will say is that I'm really trying to learn how to have energy without feeling like I really have to hustle. And so I really want you to hear me as we're talking about what does the next quarter or in the next year hold for you. Slow down with that. There is no pressure to be more than you want to be. I want you to hear my encouragement to grow as a leader, to show up for yourself and for your team, and to plan and have intention without the stress of you need to make New Year's resolutions or you should, any of those things. I want you to find a rhythm that works for you. And as you listen to what I'm sharing today and in the quarter to come, how does that inspire you to really show up authentically for you, for your team, for your business, for your family? And so want to have energy without stress and hustle. So a quick recap of what happened in season 1. We were talking about we talked about retreats. We talked about what it means to be a leader and do that slowly and intentionally with Wendy. We talked about partnerships, both in choosing not to be a partner and in what makes a successful partnership, and really talked about what it means to be a leader. Who are you as a leader? Why are you doing this? And what are you trying to accomplish? And so in season 2, we're going to go a little more deep. That's not a really good English. We're going to explore more depth and a leadership focus. And so each of the episodes are going to have a leadership prompt for you to either journal on or reflect on as you turn off the episode. We're going to explore a few different themes in this next season or quarter. And so what season are you and your practice in? What gets in the way of you stepping into your CEO role? What's maybe holding you back from really embracing that term and that role. What does support look like for you as a GPO and a leader? So for those of you who are new, group practice owner is GPO. So I will use that term sometimes. Small business owner, CEO, all of those terms are interchangeable as we're talking here on Empowered to Lead. We're going to talk about how to clarify the culture that you want in your group practice. And in the midst of all of this, how do you flourish while protecting your time and your energy? So I'm so excited. I'm excited for the solo episodes, but also for the people that I've got lined up for interviews to share their stories of leadership and stepping into this amazing role that we have. So why does a leadership reset matter? We're coming through a season of winter. We're not done with winter yet. Hopefully you got a chance to slow down and rest over December, or at least a few days during that time, and really want to have a reset. So there's a season shift for us as practice owners. When we come through the holidays, where typically client requests slow down, people take time off, things just naturally slow down, and you have a little bit of, sometimes there's stress around that happening, and sometimes that is an intentionality of, okay, so if this is the flow of our group practice, most of us slow down. Some of you may have had your practice continue to be full, but using that time to really reflect, where have you been in 2025? Who do you want to be in 2026? Where do you want your business to go? And clarifying who you want to be as a leader then sets the tone for the whole quarter. I am not the kind of person who sets really big New Year's goals. I do set some intentions because I want to be intentional throughout the year. And January 1st just seems to be a natural time to do that. But more of my personal goal setting or intentionality is actually in the summer before we hit the school year. But it does seem natural, January 1st, so it's a new calendar year. Is there anything that I want to do differently? And I encourage you to think of, what do I want to do differently as a leader for this quarter? So in the way that reaches the goals that you have for this year. So it doesn't have to be this great big huge, I've got these massive goals, but almost like I've got this goal for who I want to be on December 31st, 2026. And so what do I need to do this quarter in order to move myself closer to that? So kind of setting some of those expectations. And also permission to be messy in this. Last year, 2025 may not have been your favorite year ever. You may have been going through some changes. Maybe it feels like messiness. And stepping into January 1st, you might actually be like, yes, so glad to say goodbye to 2025. I know there's elements of last year that I'm quite happy to say goodbye to. And that messiness and that growth that happened informs who I am and the changes that I want to make as I look to this first quarter. So what is new in season 2 as we look forward to the Empowered to Lead podcast and the rhythm that we will be creating here? I'm going to be a little more intentional this time about the process or what I'm offering you. So typically it will be me offering a reflection, whether that's on the interview that happened the week before, or like today, just taking the opportunity to slow down, to reflect on what leadership is, who you want to be as a leader, and how you want to show up during this, in this role. And then the next episode will be a practical tool. So let's talk about what it means to be a group practice owner, or how I can help you set your business up more successfully or to flow more in how you want to show up. And then we're going to have an interview with a group practice owner, a Canadian group practice owner. We've got 4 specific ones lined up. And if you remember from our last episode, I was reflecting on they all have multiple locations, which was not planned when I recorded those episodes. But at the heart of it is they are not the same leader that they were when they stepped out of private practice into group practice. And so we're reflecting more on who they are as a leader and how they show up, as opposed to these multiple locations or a large group practice. Just realized one of them does not have multiple locations. So I was wrong there. Because a lot of times I think we listen to these kinds of podcasts, or we listen to other people who are leaders, and the goal is to get really big and to have multiple locations, but that might not be your goal. So listen to these podcasts, whether it's me speaking or some of the group practice owners who are sharing their stories. Listen to it and take what you need for this season, for this quarter, to show up as the CEO and the leader that you want to be in the different areas of your life. And one of the key things that also I want you to take away is that you are not alone. Everything that I do is to help you, to help us as group practice owners know that we are not alone. So whether that is the free Facebook group or the Group Practice Connection membership, or the way that I do coaching, the retreats that I offer, this podcast, even in having some of these interviews, I want you to know that you are not doing leadership alone. There are ways for you to be connected, whether that's people that you have in your life. I'm going to encourage you to connect with them, or finding new people or new ways through what I'm offering. The key of it is you are not alone. I don't want you to feel that. There's a lot of emotional load that comes with being a leader. And sometimes we don't even know what that is when we move from being a private practice owner to being a group practice owner. It can be a surprise, and often a welcome one. And yet some days it feels very heavy. And so I want you to know that I am here for you. That there are other group practice owners that get it, and you are not the only one. And that's not like, oh, you can't be special or your needs aren't unique, but you are not alone. And that's, I'm not going to repeat that again, but that's at the core of it. I want you to feel connected and to know that you can do this. So let's talk about your leadership reset process. What does that mean? So when you're thinking of, when looking at a new quarter or a new year, when you hear leadership reset, you might think that I'm kind of like, let's be a new you, new year, new you. And that's not really what I'm saying. I want you to excel in the role that you have as a CEO and a leader. And so some of that is to slow down and examine where you need or want to reset. So there's 3 steps in that. Reflect. Spend a little at a time looking at what worked, what didn't work for you, what drained you, what lit you up. When you look back, some of you might look at the whole year of 2025. Some of you might just look at the last quarter. But really slowing down and recognizing for you, do your business separately. But for you, what worked? What didn't work with your schedule, with the clients that you saw, with how you've shown up as a leader, with the culture that you've created within your group practice? What did and didn't work for you as a person, as a leader? What drained you and what lit you up? Reorient is the next step. So you reflect and then reorient. So when you look at those components, what worked and didn't, what drained you, what lit you up, what do you need in the coming quarter, and what does your practice need? So we're switching from you to now, what does your practice actually need as you look towards the next quarter. And that might be how you show up as a leader. It might be what are some of the systems that it needs in order to run better. Maybe there's people that it needs. Maybe it needs you to show up differently, whether that's more or less. What does your practice need this quarter? And then reclaim. So you're going to reflect, you're going to reorient, and then you're going to reclaim. What do you want for yourself as the leader? So as you look ahead at what your practice needs over the coming quarter, what do you want for yourself as a leader? Do you need some training? Do you want some connection? Do you want to sign up for our October retreat so you have something to look forward to? Do you need to set aside some time for wintering? What do you need as a leader? Some of the mistakes that I want you to avoid, which commonly we do, we're like, okay, new quarter. If you're like me, like I've had some rest, I've had some slowdown time, here we go. And so I'm going to do all the things. So I want you to avoid overcommitting. It's one of the reasons why I'm saying look at the quarter as opposed to the year. What can you manage? What do you need? What does your practice need in the next quarter? And be realistic about that. Don't plan from fear. So you may look back. I don't want to repeat some of the mistakes of 2025. I'm so nervous that I'm going to lose people or things are going to shift in a way that I don't want to. So I'm going to hover and I'm going to control and I'm going to make these decisions out of fear. Find ways to do that with a deep breath, with a intentionality, and with confidence, whether you need to run them by somebody that you trust or just spend some time before you actually say, this is what we're going to do moving forward. Don't ignore what you need as a leader. It's one of the reasons why those two out of three of those steps are actually about you. So as you reflect, as you reorient and you reclaim, you're talking about what you need as a leader. Your business is important. It's one of the biggest investments that you've ever made, time and money-wise. There's people who are needing you. And if you're not showing up, if you're not taking care of yourself as a leader, there's not going to be a business to grow and to need that attention. So what do you need as a leader as you reorient, as you look for your reset this quarter? So we're going to wrap up. And the leadership challenge that I want to issue to you today is choose one intention for quarter one, for Q1, that centers you as the leader, not just the business. So coming back to what do you need this quarter to feel centered, to feel like you have got this. You are the leader, going to be the leader. This is what you need to supplement or to create those leadership skills for you. So I'm going to say that again. The leadership challenge today in this episode is choose one intention for first quarter that centers you as the leader, not just business. I'm so excited for this season and to have you join us. If you have any questions or you want to learn something specific on this episode, be sure to reach out. You can email me at lisa@grouppracticenetwork.ca. And if you want to start this quarter in community, go check out Group Practice Connection. I'd love to have you join us in there. And here we go. I'm looking forward to this season. Thanks for hanging out with me on Empowered to Lead, the therapist practice. If you're ready for deeper support, I'd love to see you inside the Group Practice Connection, my monthly membership where Canadian therapists like you get coaching, community, and the tools to build a business that actually supports your life. You can check it out at grouppracticenetwork.ca. We're building something great here, and I'm so glad you're a part of it.
This is Michelle Abraham, and we are honored to have Lisa Catallo's Empowered to Lead podcast on our High Vibe Podcast Network. For more shows like hers and to grab your free gift from the gift fold, head on over to highvibepodcastnetwork.com.